So we are ready to get started with our next session. And this is our club member panel discussion, which will be moderated by Mr. Roger Huff, our conference Pathfinder director. And I will go ahead and turn the time over to him.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I trust that you're not becoming too weary of a full day of pathfindering and adventuring. We've got just a little bit more to accomplish this afternoon. We're going to do something just a little bit different this evening, and that is we're going to talk about Pathfinders. I really couldn't get adventurers involved in this, but we're going to talk about Pathfinders, and we're going to hear from Pathfinders, not staff. We're going to hear from Pathfinders. We have a panel here that we're going to draw information from this afternoon, made up of Marcus May from the Bentonville Pathfinder Club, Ethan Doss from the Mountain View Pathfinder Club, should be, Catherine Connell from Fort Smith, and Salvador Aguilar from Bentonville. So I believe we've got everybody over here. I've seen Catherine. I see Marcus, Salvador, Ethan. There's Ethan. There you are. Hi, Ethan. Thank you guys for letting us pick your brains this afternoon. Pathfinder staff, I'm going to talk to you for just a minute. Have you ever done things for your Pathfinder Club, planned events, planned activities, so on and so forth, and thought, I wonder how the kids will like this. I wonder, will this really be a good thing for the kids? Will they think this is fun, or will they think it's dumb? Or whatever the case may be. Well, I've come up with some questions that I've actually given to our panel a little bit ahead of time. And they're going to give us some answers on these questions. And then we're going to get real wild here. We're going to give you a chance to put some questions in the chat for our panel and see what they respond to the questions that you come up with about what Pathfinders really think about Pathfinders and Pathfinder Club activities. Our first question that we're going to come up with here says, describe a typical club meeting for your Pathfinder Club. Just give us a little bit of an outline on what you do at a typical club meeting. And I don't think this was on the list of questions that I gave you earlier. We added this one on. So I'm going to start out with Salvador here. Salvador, give us just a little bit of an idea on what a typical Pathfinder Club meeting is for you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Salvador. I'm from the Bentonville Club. And a typical Pathfinder Club meeting for us consists of worship at the beginning. We read out of our club book that we read out of, and we recite our Pathfinder law and pledge, and we go over what we're going to do for that night. And depending on what night we're doing, we do different things. Like, for example, the first Wednesday of the month, we will have our Investiture achievement classes. And we will go over stuff that's like in our Investiture achievement book. And second Wednesdays of the month, we do service projects around the church, which consists of weeding the flower beds for the school, for the front sign. We trim the hedges sometimes. And I believe the third Wednesday of the month, it's more like a team building Wednesday, where we do a few team building games and try to build our friendships with each other, you could say, I guess.
Okay. All right. Catherine, can you tell us what Pathfinder Club meetings are for you in Fort Smith? What they look like? Just give us just a bit of an idea.
Sure thing. Hi, I'm Catherine. I'm from the Fort Smith Pathfinder Club. Basically, usually I'm here a bit early and I'll have other kids here, so I'll let them out to the playground. Some of the boys will start a soccer match. Then we'll come in and do our opening prayer, our pledge and law. One of our teachers will help lead us out in worship, and he'll make sure at least most of us participate, let us get our voice in saying our questions in. Afterwards, we'll do our closing prayer. I'll take them out to do some drilling and marching, have them run their laps, get some physical activity in. And then after that, we'll come in and they'll split into classes.
Okay. Then I'm going to do one more of our panel with this question. Ethan, we're going to go from the river valley to the mountains of North Arkansas. Tell us what pathfindering looks like, Pathfinder Club meetings look like in Mountain View.
Well, so usually we start with
Hang on, hang
usually we start with morning exercises, or sorry, beginning exercises, and do worship and everything. And then we go to our classwork, which sometimes it's honors, other times it would be, the Investiture journal. And yeah, just we do normal Pathfinder things and not much different than usual.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at another question. What is the best part of your Pathfinder Club and why? Marcus, tell us what's the best part of the Pathfinder Club in Bentonville.
Well, I believe that the best part of the Pathfinder Club is the opportunity to hang out with all your friends there that you meet. Both the older people there, the guides, master guides, and the fellow Pathfinders you have there. I feel like it's always really fun to hang out with them. Doesn't really matter what you're doing, because it's always fun to hang out with your friends and, I don't know, learn about snakes or something.
Okay. Oh, that sounds exciting with snakes. All right. I'm going to go back to you, Ethan. Tell us what's the best part of pathfindering in Mountain View.
I agree. Yeah, friends are a lot of fun. And working on honors is especially fun. I mean, it's all just a lot of fun. I mean, there's no specific part of it that's much better than the rest.
Okay. Catherine, you want to add anything to that?
Sure, I guess. What I would think is the best part is that recently the older kids in our class, we finally get to help teach classes. And I personally think that's, for me, in my experience, the best part, because I get to now help in a way others reach their own relationship with God. And a close second along the lines of friends is the mass diversity of people we have in our clubs. And that's how, in a way, we see the world, especially now with the pandemic. So that's my put.
All right. Very good. Very good. Good insight there. All right. Let's look at another question. What is it about Pathfinders that keeps you coming back? Salvador, why do you keep going? Salvador, I see you are TLT, I believe. What keeps you coming back to Pathfinder?
Yes, sir, I am. For me, the thing that makes me want to come back to Pathfinders is the anticipation of what we're going to do next class, or like for our investiture achievement group. We don't really know what we're going to do, so it's always a surprise of what honors we're going to start working on, or what honors we're going to start learning how to teach, and like preparing to teach those honors.
Okay. Okay. Now, Ethan, I'm going to ask you that same question, and I know part of the reason why you keep coming back because if I'm not mistaken, Mom is the director. So you probably don't have too much of a choice, but give us your idea on why you keep coming back to Pathfinders.
Well, I mean, yes, that is true. My mom, but I mean, you get to see friends. You get to have fun. And it's it's just all fun. Yeah.
Do you actually really learn anything though?
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, like especially the honors. I learn so much from the honors and the classwork. It's all really amazing, to be honest.
Okay. Catherine, you want to add anything to that?
Just a sense of communion, because especially during these times, at least in my viewing, you can't find much youth in churches. So I think that's why it's amazing we have youth groups. It's when the youth gets to come together and we get to come together for our own worship and we get to express ourselves, what we're learning. And it's really amazing. And I love coming here because when I learn in my devotional, I love sharing it with what my friends here. And I like explaining it to our teacher who helps us in devotion. It's just a bunch of communion that I love about it.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's look at another question. If you could change one thing, how would you improve your Pathfinder Club? Marcus, you want to take a stab at answering that question?
Well, I feel like it would be really cool if we had a bigger budget, but then again, that's not really up to us. I mean, I guess you could donate, but I mean, in reality, it's not really up to us to have a bigger budget. But it'd be really cool to like do bigger things, like I don't know, travel more, or just do bigger and better things all the time. But again, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Maybe we need to pass that on to the church board, enlarging your budget then. Ethan, what would you do to improve Pathfinders?
I would wonder because we start out and we do our starting exercises. You sit down, you start working on classwork, and it seems like you just sat down and they're done. And although it's an hour and a half, it just seems like it's 5 minutes long. Yeah, when you're having fun, time really flies. So I mean, if I could change one thing, I would make the meeting longer.
Oh, okay. All right. Catherine, you want to offer your ideas?
Probably both what Marcus and Ethan said. I would love it more if we could be more involved with our community and get to do things more as a group, but not only with our groups, but if we get more chances to interact with other Pathfinder groups within our areas. And definitely if our time together could be much longer.
Okay. All right. Well, let's look at another question here. What did your club staff do during the pandemic to keep your club going? I know there were some clubs that just pretty much dropped out for a while, but I also know that some of your clubs kept going despite the pandemic. Catherine, what did the Fort Smith Pathfinder Club do to keep things moving a little bit during the pandemic?
During the start of it, we stayed on Zoom for a few good weeks. And then after a while, when things settled down a bit, we did meet outside and kept our distance and we had to keep masks. And it wasn't until later we were finally able to come back in our building. But we kept it going and I'm glad we did.
Okay. All right. Salvador, what went on in Bentonville?
So in Bentonville, lockdown happened for us around March, which is usually around the time we start doing a lot of outdoor stuff. So we resorted to some Facebook activities, you could say. We had different contests going on there. And after like 4 or 5 weeks of that, we started Zoom classes again. and we started doing online honors. And I think the year after that, we started getting back together in person, but like with the COVID restrictions and everything. But everything was done mostly online.
Okay. Did anybody, I'm going to let any of the four of you answer this. Did any of you do regular weekly Zoom meetings for your Pathfinder Club during that time?
Yes, our past did the weekly Zoom meetings as if it were the actual meeting itself. And then we also did more things such as honors and stuff like that on Facebook during the week, in just between meetings. So we actually did maybe more than when we actually get together and meet together.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, my group too, we continue meeting on Wednesdays.
Okay. Those Zoom meetings for Pathfinder Club
We also
meetings,
did.
were they
Yeah.
really a drag, or was
Yes,
it worthwhile?
they were a drag. We were assigned honors that kept us busy, but it's so much better when we get to work together and in person. It was pretty hard to go through Zoom.
Okay. All right. What did your club staff do during the pandemic to keep the Pathfinder Club? Let's see, wait a minute. I missed that. Wasn't the question. What's the best honor that you've ever done in your Pathfinder Club, and why? Salvador.
For me, I would say it's the video making honor because I have my own YouTube channel aside from like everything else that I do, and I thought it was cool that I got to put those skills to use for like an actual honor that I didn't know existed until then. So I got to show what I do in my free time basically.
Okay. Marcus, what one did you like?
While the video on here I remember was really fun, my personal favorite was the model rocket honor we did. This is one of the first ones I did actually, and I don't know, it was just really fun to build model rockets. Although I did struggle with making it, it was really fun to see them like shoot up into the air and just go off into the distance where you had no idea where it went. Oh, man, that was fun.
Okay. All right. Catherine.
Probably hiking's my favorite. I love being out in nature, especially with groups of friends, and I just love seeing the sights and learning new things. So definitely hiking honors were my favorite.
Okay. Good deal. Ethan, what about Mountain Home?
So my favorite would probably be the origami honor. We did that during the summer, actually. I think, yeah, summer. And we all got together, and actually there was one from another club that came, and we all worked on in the origami honor together. And it was a lot of fun. And
Okay. All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about doing service projects with your Pathfinder Club. Do you feel invested in the projects? Do you feel like what you do is worthwhile, or is it just something to take up time? I remember seeing some things that you've done in Mountain View, Ethan. Tell us what you think about that.
probably two things that stand out to me was we picked up trash along the side of our road near where we meet. And before we came along and started doing that, it was really bad. I mean, there's trash everywhere. And now it is really clean. And then we put out flags at veterans' graves every year also. But actually right now we are working on a booth put out during the fair, which we're having a fair in about maybe 5 days or so. And we're going to make a booth focusing on the 8 doctors of health. And so, yeah,
Okay,
I'm doing that.
all right. Catherine, how does that fit together in Fort Smith?
Hmm. First off, Ethan, I think that's so cool. Y'all are doing something for the fair. And service projects, I do think they're super important for our Pathfinder groups because that's us giving back to the community. And pretty much the main idea of, well, not probably main, but a big part of Pathfinders as it is in our pledge is to be servants of God and friends to man. And I think it's really good when we get out into the environment and do our best. So yeah, I do feel like service projects are worthwhile to do.
All right. Marcus.
Well, our Pathfinder group, every month, we go over to a Sulphur Springs, a local church, like about 40 minutes away from our Bentonville church, and we go over there, and we help like with the kids. We give them fun activities to do, give them snack packs, and well, we've been doing this for like the past 2 years, almost maybe. Three, just kidding, 3. We've been doing it for the past 3 years. And well, we did have to sort of slow down on that during COVID when it first hit. We're kind of back at it. We're just giving out snack packs and activities that they can do, giving handouts there still every month. But I think it's a fun way to interact with a place that's not very well known, I'd say, and I don't know, just help out the kids there who might need to know a little bit about the love of Jesus.
Okay. Salvador, did you do more than just pass out food packs or whatever in that little church, for that little church over there? Didn't you all do some other things?
I remembered we did do stuff for them. I wasn't with them personally, but I did hear about them. I know that they helped redo, I think it was the volleyball pit, and they helped with the sidewalk by the church, and I think they helped rebuild like a little gazebo that was there.
And how long did that take?
A week. It took
A
us
week.
to do that.
So you all worked on a week-long service project?
Yes, we did. We all
And then wasn't there a VBS involved in that as well?
Oh yeah, how could I forget about the VBS? Yeah, we did like we helped around the community in the mornings, and then sort of in the afternoons we did a VBS for the kids.
Okay. Boy, that was a big commitment. Okay. Well, let's look at another question. If you were given a reward to Pathfinders, what would you like it to be? Catherine, you want to answer that one?
I honestly don't know. I'm blank on it.
Okay. Marcus, what kind of a reward should you get for being involved with Pathfinders?
Can it be anything, even if it's completely outlandish?
What kind of a reward?
I don't know. Maybe like just it's like the best Pathfinder Club award. Too much to ask? Yes? No?
Okay. All right, that's not too much to ask.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Ethan, where are you? What's your idea of what kind of a reward for Pathfinder?
Probably Pathfinder Excellence.
Okay. All right. Salvador?
For me, this is more on a personal level. I kind of feel like there should be some sort of music reward because I know there's a lot of musically talented Pathfinders in our conference, and I feel like they should have some sort of reward for like what they have worked on and how they've worked on it.
Okay. All right. Pathfinder staff, now's the time to put those questions that you might have into the chat box. I have one more question for our group, and then we're going to go to your questions. Pathfinders, this is going to be a tough question.
Oh boy.
What do you think about your staff? Are they good to work with? Are they difficult to work with? How would you change them if you could? That's a tough question. Marcus, you want to answer that one first?
Well, what? Sorry. Never mind. I think that no change is necessary because our club is the best club, hands down. Not to put down any of the other clubs, but I think we've got an amazing club. I don't think we need anyone. I think everyone's really good. I think every one of the staff is really fun to be around. I don't have any complaints.
Okay. Catherine, you want to answer that?
Same here. I think we honestly have an amazing staff. They're pretty understanding with groups. Personally for me, I'm not entirely at my best all the time. And sometimes I come to Pathfinders like that, and the teachers are very notive of even the most littlest things. They really know the kids here, and they are so patient. Personally for me, I am a very stubborn person, and they have yet to kick me out. So I'm extremely grateful for this.
Okay, very good. Now, Ethan, this is going to put you on the spot again because I know Mom is the director. What do you think about the staff in your club?
I think it's great. I mean, they all do a great job of what they do. They're awesome. Yeah. I really couldn't change anything at all.
Okay. And Salvador, you want to answer that question for the last one?
Yeah, I would love to answer that. I feel like our staff is pretty good the way it is right now. There's nothing that we need to change. There's different strengths throughout it, and they're pretty much they have a lot of patience, I can tell you that. And I feel like we're just pretty well-rounded.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if we have any questions, moderator, from our audience.
Yes, our first question is, what is your goal for your time in Pathfinder ministry?
Okay. Catherine, you want to address that one?
My current
What is your goal for your time in Pathfinder ministry?
My current goal, as I said, I am now starting to help teach the classes, and my class is the friend class. And I guess my goal right now would be that I help them get a firm start with their relationship with God, and that I can really make an impact on their life. So I think that would be my main goal for now in my Pathfinder ministry.
Okay, Marcus?
I don't know, just to have fun, learn about Jesus and have fun.
Okay.
Simple answer, I guess.
Okay, that's fine. Ethan?
Well, I plan to, when I outgrow Pathfinder, so to speak, I plan to become a teacher or a Pathfinder leader. in our club.
Oh, Ethan, you have been raised correctly. I love to hear about Pathfinders wanting to be staff. Salvador, I'll let you answer that one as well.
Okay. I feel like my biggest goal is just to become part of the staff, but to also
Oh, there's
sort of
another one.
move the younger ones into the direction of God's path. Yeah, like Catherine said, as TLT we start to start moving them towards that direction. And I feel like we have a lot of influence on what they do. So if we can show them what is right in Pathfinders, like what we need to do, then they will start following it sooner or later. Hopefully sooner.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our next question is, do you think it would be a good idea to do honors with other church clubs? And if so, why or why not?
All right. Who wants to answer that one?
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think it could be a really amazing opportunity if we could work on honors with other churches, because as one group, we may seem small, but if we put so many other groups together, you get more older kids, more your younger kids, some are more experienced. It would just be a whole bunch of fun. So yeah, I would absolutely think that would be a great idea if we were able to do that.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to answer that?
I would like to answer it.
Okay, Salvador.
I feel like it's a good idea because you get to reach out to other like clubs who are wanting to do more, like reach out with other clubs as well. And I feel like it's a good way to meet new people who share the same beliefs for like for those of us who go to public schools. I know there's not a lot of people who share the same beliefs. So I feel like it's a good way to like work on honors and like build friendships with other people from different.
Okay. Anybody else got any input there? Ethan or Marcus?
Well, in working with other Pathfinder clubs, they might know a lot more about the honor than our own club would. Like we have a person in our club who knows everything about knots and stuff like that. So if we get together with the Pathfinder Club who doesn't have any staff leaders or anyone who knows that much about knots, then maybe we can do the knot honor together, and then that would benefit two clubs instead of just one.
Okay. All right. What's another question that we've
All right.
got out there?
Our next question is, I just want you to do a show of hands. So like hold up how many fingers. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the upcoming International Camporee in Gillette, Wyoming? Hold up how many fingers on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, wow. I see tens.
What's the top and what's the bottom?
1 is the least, 10 is the most.
Yep. Looks like I see tens
Awesome.
across the board.
All right. Our next question is, what activities would you like to do at your club?
All right. Ethan, what's something you'd like to do that maybe you haven't done before?
Well, so recently we haven't been doing as much marching as usual, and it's probably even harder now because we have a couple of new people or a new person in our club. So we need to teach them the basics and all that. But I would like to do more marching now.
Okay. Catherine, what's something you would like to do in Fort Smith that maybe you haven't done?
More outreach projects.
Okay. All right. Marcus?
Well, nothing's really coming to mind in my head, but I don't really care as long, this is really cheesy, but I don't really care as long as, I get to do it with my friends.
Okay. All right. Salvador?
So I've recently got back into geocaching, which I know is an honor. So I feel like that would be something fun that we could do with our clubs because it's a good way to go out and see different places in your community and possibly find inspiration for more out.
Okay.
All right, we have one last question from the chat, and that is, how do you and your club prepare for Bible Bowl? How long does that take, and what does it look like?
All right. Bible Bowl, big undertaking. Ethan, I know that you guys do big time Bible Bowl. How long do you prepare for it?
Well, hold on. All right, so usually we start around October, November, and we work really hard. Me and one other person in our Pathfinder Club, we got different apps and stuff, and we printed out sample questions, and we called each other every once in a while, and we go back and forth, asking questions and answering questions. And we had a really good time working on it. And I felt like we really studied well, and we had a good time.
Okay. I know Fort Smith has done PBE the last year or two. How has that gone for you? How much time do you have to prepare, Catherine?
Usually we're given our books in November, but I would like to start forming a team now and have them start studying. But usually how we study is most of the time we study on our own, but a lot of our group has siblings, so they'll study with one another. And then it's usually on Sundays, we'll meet either over on Zoom or sometimes in person, and we'll do just a group study. It's a lot of studying and a lot of questions. One of our teachers here likes to get us into the questions as soon as possible.
Okay. All right. Salvador, Marcus, you're from the same club. One of you can answer. How long do you prepare in Bentonville?
Usually for us, it depends on how long it takes to get our team together. I think the longest we've had to prepare, we started in October, and we usually use different programs like studying programs like Quizlet, and we use Kahoot as well. I like to make different Kahoots for us, so we can use those to study. And
Okay.
I think the shortest amount of time it's taken us, we started in, I believe, late November, early December. So only like a few months, and we still placed pretty well. So I feel like it's more based on how well you can remember the verses, and not as much like how well you work together as a team. But I know that's also a factor in it, but like knowing the verses, if you know the verses, you will pretty much
All right. Is that all of our questions, moderator? Okay, I think that's all. Well, I hope our audience has gained some insight on Pathfinder thinking from our panel this afternoon. We want to thank Salvador and Marcus and Ethan and Catherine for being brave enough to come and talk in front of all of these experienced Pathfinder and adventure leaders. I'm sure it was probably just a little scary, and you all are brave and have done a great job. And we appreciate your being part of our event here this afternoon. So I think that with that being said, we will wind things down. And moderator, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much. Our next session will begin at 4:45. So you have about a 15-minute break, and then we'll be back together at 4:45. Thank you all very much.